Hi, Jeff Rhodes here again with another video on Microsoft 365 based on my book, Creating Business Applications with Microsoft 365. And today I wanted to talk about SharePoint. And as I mentioned in my last video, I've been doing some consulting and getting back into SharePoint a little more than I have the last few years. So getting some interesting topics to cover here. So first I want to give some credit, like many of you, when I'm trying to figure out how to do something, I go search and typically like to watch a video. So Daniel Anderson here has a quicker video than mine will be, but really shows the points on how to do this. So I encourage you to subscribe to Daniel and check out his video. I'll put that in the notes. But I wanted to kind of show my own version, and also along the way I thought it'd be fun to build a SharePoint page with Copilot that we can then copy over. So first of all, here I am, and you'll see I'm building on my video I did last where I put some branding on a site here. So kind of cool. So I built this really simple page that says cool content here, but I will note when I added this with the web part that it picked up my theming, which is kind of nice. I put a video, threw in a Power BI and this image here. So that's the first thing that I wanted to do. And let's go over and create, and I wanted to have two. So let's create a page with Copilot. So I thought that'd be kind of fun. I'm going to select page, and the only template they have is this create leadership team right now. So I thought I'd do it. And I thought it'd be kind of fun, you know, in some of my earlier ones I've done pointed to a copy of the book. So if I type in business, there we go. So there's a PDF copy of the book. And so I'll just say, let's create a meeting for Power Platform Strategy, if I can spell. And we'll put sections on Power Apps and Power Automate. So let's go ahead and create. And while we're doing that, because it takes a second, let's talk about what our strategy is going to be. And I'll also show you why we can't just copy it in the normal way. Because the first thing I tried, just like you can copy files between SharePoint sites and Teams channels and so forth, I thought we'd be able to copy the pages, but turns out not to work. So I'll show you that, and then we'll see how we can add that to Power Automate instead. And I've done a previous video where you add to like a Power Automate list item and stuff, so it's kind of similar, or to a document, so it's kind of cool. Anyway, let's see, it's telling me to co-author in real time. I'll just get rid of that. But notice it's going to town on this page. Again, what I linked it to was a copy of my book, and it's building stuff. Notice also how it's using the theming that you can watch the previous video, how we just added some colors and put this kind of Platte Canyon green is what we call it. So I'm going to keep this, and let's just look at it, put some links to, it's funny, I did a sonnet on Power Automate for messing with Copilot. So it did that. It did some Word documents, did a copy of the PDF. It's kind of nice. Put some capabilities in there, Power Automate, put a little quote from myself in there. That's kind of fun. And, create some web parts here. It says I'm president of Platte Canyon, so it gave me a leadership team meeting. So sounds good. Let's go ahead and publish that. Again, just kind of fun. What we would normally do with Copilot is go ahead and edit that, make sure it didn't have any hallucinations and so forth. But I'm just going to show how to copy this over. So, all right, let's go in and go to site contents, and let's first see if we can find a way to get it to copy the page directly, because I got another site here. I'll put it So this is Platte Canyon, and we're in Platte Canyon 542. So let's go to Site Pages. And I've got these two pages that I just had. So let's see if I can, I'll just even try one here. If I say copy to, which looks promising. But then if you look, all I have is within the site that we have. And I don't really have any way to navigate to another site. So if I wanted to make a copy of it, it'd be fine in the same one and maybe edit it. But it doesn't really give me a way to get it to that other site, which is what I was trying to do in our consulting as well. So bit of a dead end there. Obviously I could look at both and recreate, but let's see what we can do. So let's jump over. I'm going to need this URL, so I'm going to copy that now. So I'm going to jump over to Power Automate, and I'm going to create an automated cloud flow. I'm just going to say copy SharePoint. I'll say video. I usually do, so I know where it came from. Copy SharePoint page. And actually, I'm going to copy that, which means I'll have to go copy my thing, because the task, I didn't have any good luck finding the trigger inside here on this screen. But when you do that, you lose the name of your flow. It doesn't carry it over. See how it says untitled over there? So I'll just paste that back in so I don't have to type it again. So I'm going to add a trigger. I'm going to put in SharePoint. And we want for a selected item. So that's what we want there. And then we need the site address. So I'll go back and get that we wanted. And you want to put, maybe in that list, but I'll just put custom value. And then we got a bit of a trouble, and that's where Daniel really showed how to do this, which is nice. It's kind of like when you're bringing form, doing a group form, and you have to trigger, you have to go find the ID. It's the same thing here, because Site Pages doesn't show up. So we got to come over here, and what we have to do, if we go back one level, go to Site Pages and click on Settings here. And then we need this GUID, Globally Unique Identifier, where it says list equals. So I'll do the right arrow there. So that's the ID that we need there. So so I'll put custom value, and I'll put that in there. And then we need an input, and we can just call that destination URL. And I'll please enter your receiving SharePoint site URL, like that. Here we go. And then what we need to do next is we need to get the properties of the item. So again, we're going to come in here and say SharePoint. And we'll see more. And we're looking for get file properties only right there. And again, we're going to need that same thing. So I'm going to put the custom value in first, because I still have that in the clipboard. And we'll go back and get this 542. And let me look, see if oh, this is actually not the one that I wanted. What I want is get file properties. Sometimes it'd be a little hard to find those in SharePoint. Yeah, so I put get files, which I didn't want. That's why I didn't have what I needed, because I need to get the file, the properties of the one that I selected. So let's try that again. All right. I don't know what's in my clipboard, but let's see if it's still that URL. Yeah, there we go. And then the library name might be easier just to go get it from this one here. So I'll go there and we'll do custom, whoops. There we go. And then we need the ID, and that's going to come from the selected item. So that's going to give us all the file properties that we want. And then what we need to do is copy file. Let's see if I can do that straight from, without going to SharePoint. There we go. And so the current site address is the one that we want to start with. So let's do the custom value, grab that. And then the file that we want to get is, you'd think it would actually be the ID again, but we need it from that file properties instead. So we'll insert dynamic expressions, and then I'll come in here on the get file properties, and I'm looking for identifier. There we go, like that. And then where do we want to put it? Again, custom value, but we pass that on as the input thing. So we come right up back to the beginning. Where did that go? Oops. Let's try that again. Didn't see what we want. All right, let me pause for a minute because I'm not seeing where that is. I'm back, I'm just missed it. So for a selected item was the first thing we got. So our destination URL is right there. And then what we need to know is that this is called site pages. And that's the same on every SharePoint site. And then we decide what do we do if it's already there. So I'm just going to say copy with a new name. It'll put like a 1 or something on there. So let's go ahead and save that. And this is one we can't really test from inside of Power Automate because we got to go back to the folder, to the site library, and refresh and use the, select the file and so forth. So let's try it there. We'll come back. So we're back in here. So we can go site pages. And let's just try that cool page. So we can select it or we can click this 3 dots here. Either way, let's see if we can find, actually not seeing automate yet. So let's reload. Sometimes it can take a second to get it there. So let's try it here. Oh, there it is, automate. Yeah, there you go, Power Automate. Oops. And video copy SharePoint page. So that's what we want. And it should prompt us for like some connections and permissions to start with the first time. And then I need that, going to need that URL. So I'll just copy that. Remember, it's the Platte Canyon without the 542 on the end. All right, whoops, where was I? There we go. So I'm going to, it says it needs SharePoint permissions. Now there's that destination URL, which I put in there, and I say run flow. So let's come back here, see if we get to see it. There it is, it's running. Let's see if we can catch it in the act. There we go, we're getting the file properties. And it looks like it's still working to copy the file. There we go. So let's go see if we can find it. So remember, I'm in the new site where we want to be. I'll go to site contents. Oh, and you can see it's actually already showed up on the screen there for a second, but let's go over here. And there we go. Cool page. If I click it, it has, and since I linked to a completely not a video that was on the site, I did one from my OneDrive, so everything actually worked just fine. Same with the Power BI, and it, linked to a stock image and stuff. So that worked very, very well. Again, we're in the new spot. If we go to the old spot, it was Platte Canyon 542. So let's try one more time. This time I'll do it from the toolbar so we can see if I select it, then I get the automate up here. Let's see if I still have that in the clipboard of the destination URL. Yep. And it shouldn't prompt me anymore for the doing it on the permissions. So let's go back here and just refresh, see if it's come up there yet. There it was, Power Platform Strategy, Leadership Teams, got that. All the stuff we built with Copilot a minute ago. So I got something that didn't exist, but I think that was blank on the other one too. So I have some links, and that's pretty much it. We'll come back to kind of finish off. Let's go back. We should have 2 runs inside our history that both succeeded. So hope that's helpful. Again, kudos to Daniel over here who did it all in 7 minutes that I'm coming up on 17 minutes. So obviously much more concise than I am, but hope this is helpful. And I look forward to seeing you in a future video.